The following program is paid for by the Real Estate Radio Network.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Fresno on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Now, live in studio, your host, local real estate expert, Craig Barton.
Good morning, Central California. I'm your host, Craig Barton, and welcome to the Real Estate Radio Network, the most important hour of radio each week, here on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Real Estate Radio is a show dedicated to bringing some rational thought to the crazy world that we live in and helping you to rebuild the Central Valley's housing and credit markets. You know, within every market there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted advice, and that's exactly what you're going to hear every Sunday morning right here from 7 to 8 a.m. on 105.9 The FM KMJ. Thanks so much for joining us. Good morning, good morning.
Welcome back,
I have a new outlook on life, a spring in my step.
You had a good vacation, I take it.
Oh, my gosh. You know, it's been years. I know.
I know.
It's been
I know.
years.
I've been watching going, when the heck is he going to leave this office?
Yeah, I needed a little time with me and my family on the Central Coast.
Nice.
Absolutely. It was the first time in, oh my gosh, 8 years that I've taken more than 3 or 4 days off.
I'm proud of you, Craig.
A couple bookends around a weekend.
I'm really proud of you.
We left last Sunday after the show. Got back late yesterday afternoon. Just amazing.
You look very relaxed.
Enough fish and
chips.
chips.
And just so you know, the office is still standing. It didn't burn down. We didn't lose any clients. We took very good care of your agents. We're good.
She's making fun of me right at the moment.
Well, your paranoid schizophrenia starts to take over the office and you won't leave. So we finally got to kick you out for a week, and I just want you to know, hey, thanks for trusting us, first of all.
Okay.
And second of all, you can leave once in a while. We really are glad you're back, but I don't want you to think we didn't miss you. We did. But at the same time, we didn't burn the place down.
I'm sure you also don't want this to become a habit. Right?
Yeah, no, I'd rather it not become a habit, because handling your clients and my clients
is just a bit much.
It gets, you got a lot of clients.
Well, you know what they say. It's not just clients. You know what they say.
It's the agents.
The you-know-what rolls uphill, so I'm usually at the peak of the...
Well, it had to roll downhill this week.
Yeah, it did.
Thanks for trusting us, and we're happy you're home.
I appreciate it. It was much needed, and
awesome.
Central Coast is amazing. Lots of fish and chips, lots of time with my kids.
Did you look at any cool properties while you were there?
You know what? My wife and I spent a little time looking around just to get... Honestly, love to be able to spend some time over there, and whether it's helping clients to do some investing over there, but just spent some time trying to understand the real estate market over there, and it's very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
You know, price per square foot at $400 a square foot, something like that.
A little bit higher than here, is that what you're saying?
Just a tad.
A little bit.
Just a tad.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, the real estate over there being that it's so close to, that big ocean.
Well,
thing.
it's so funny to me. Like, I already have a date between now and the end of the year to be at Pismo.
Yeah.
Because my daughter does the band review every year. So this year, Fowler, Red Cats, we do the band review. So let me just tell you, I'm trying to figure out how many more weekends we can plan between now and the end of the year to be over there. Because I think there's quite a few folks in this area who've been looking over there. And
what a novel idea.
Yeah. I really do think, for those folks who have an interest in the coast, give us a call, because truly it is a different market, but it is very, very busy and hopping right now.
Yeah, if your cotton crop came in and you were making $3 on a
where do you want to put it?
Yeah, where do you want to put it?
I think you need an office at the coast.
Yes,
and that would now become your new office on the weekends.
Yes, love that idea.
Yeah,
need a new office with a view.
Well, I'm glad you did some research for us while you were there.
And I'll share more of that research with you soon enough. As always, it's so good to have my special guest host, Michelle Lynn Pettis. You're more than a guest, I have to say. Guest makes it sound like you're kind of transitory.
Yeah, but does that mean you're not going to roll out the red carpet when I come anymore?
Okay, I'll treat you special, I promise.
I mean, the champagne, the red carpet, the flowers.
Yeah.
Actually, you don't do any of that, but
Michelle is a licensed realtor in the state of California and part of our team at Valleywide. Love it. The Real Estate Radio Network gives us the opportunity to reach so many people efficiently for 1 full hour each and every week. It's pretty efficient communication. I think. 1 full hour.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Oh, my gosh.
Were you talking to me?
Way to prove the point, or disprove the point, I should say.
I was kidding.
I know.
was kidding. But
no, my point is 1 full hour each and every week. We're able to share insight and input with regards to the market, what we've seen, all the different crazy clients that Michelle gets to work with on a weekly basis.
Hey, I have great clients. Don't mess with my clients. You can mess with me, but don't mess with my clients.
You can mess with me, but not
That's right. That's right.
Well, just so you know, our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market so we can help bring you
back home.
On today's show, Senators Warren, McCain, Cantwell.
They're coming?
No, they're in the lobby.
I thought Senator McCain was coming. Let's talk. Let's do some talking.
Yeah, they introduced the 21st century's Glass-Steagall Act.
Are you kidding me?
I kid you not.
I want more on that one.
Well, this is their attempt to
fix things?
Fix stupidity.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Can we not just cause and effect?
Hey.
Cause and effect.
Yeah, put the soapbox away for just for a second.
All right,
we'll get to it just shortly. What is a pocket listing? We spoke about a pocket listing and tried to give you a definition of a pocket listing recently, but we're going to revisit that. And we're also going to ask the question, are pocket listings a threat to the multiple listing service? Also, blunting the effect of rising interest rates.
Blunting?
Yes. Okay. It's
is that like beating it with a stick?
No, it's rounding off its pretty little pointed head. No, it's slowing or minimizing the increase in interest rates.
So can we just call it minimizing the effect?
Yeah, we could do that.
Of rising interest rates?
I'm sorry.
I just need more word terminology, I suppose.
Okay. Well, we'll just write that down. We'll define that for you.
I need to work on that.
Now, if you're an agent in today's market, speak up when an offer arises.
What do you mean?
It's your responsibility.
All right, I got to know more about that, too. I need to know what my responsibilities are.
Exactly. And be on the lookout for a new higher property tax bill.
They are coming.
They are coming. And 10 ways or 10 things that you can do in today's market to prepare your house to sell and to prepare it to sell for top dollar.
I want to hear.
Might seem somewhat obvious. We're also going to take some listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. If you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information or the questions that we share with you on our show here, it all starts with one call. Call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. 58, yes. You can also take us with you. You can take us with you.
Did you take me on vacation last week?
You know, no, I did not.
Oh, darn.
But you can take us with you wherever you go and listen to us on your smartphone with the iPeak Tuner app that you can download at your app store, or you can listen to us online at kmjnow.com. You can
not
also
later.
No,
now.
Not
now.
Later,
right
exactly.
now.
You can also check out our resources online. Go to our website, valleywidesells.com. That's valleywidesells.com. The name says it all. You can also search for your new home at Valley Wide Sells. It's a free service.
It is.
At the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, midnight,
in your PJs,
2 a.m., whenever, however you want.
Can't sleep? Just search for your new home. Or, as we've seen lately, just search for a dream home. And it's something to...
we've seen a lot of dream home searching.
We have. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 Keywords.
Friend Valley Wide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 Keywords.
KMJ, call Valley Wide.
To call into the show anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, let's take a look at today's hot property. Today's hot properties are brought to you by Perfect Inspections, whether it's residential, multifamily, or commercial. Dale does it all. Use Press 4 Keywords, Perfect Home Inspections, or call Dale Devereaux today for your perfect home inspection at 352-6941. Again, that's 352-6941. Just real quick, if you're going to call Dale, which I hope you're going to, it's a small investment to protect the biggest investment you'll probably make of a lifetime. What Dale will do is he'll quote you a price with regards to, because typically the price of a home inspection varies based upon the square footage. So a 1,500 square foot home is typically going to be priced less than a 4,000 square foot home.
Right. And I mean, generally a 1,500 square foot home, 2,000 square foot home is generally right in the range of $300.
Yeah.
And then they go up from there.
Sure.
But that's generally about what those fees are, and let me tell you, it's so worth your money.
Dale's report is so comprehensive. There is all sorts of verbiage that you'll see in the report. It takes tons of photos. It does a phenomenal job. Well, today's hot property is a HUD home. And as we mentioned before, a HUD home is a home that previously had FHA financing on it. Unfortunately, the bank took it back. Those folks lost it. The bank takes it back and files an insurance claim with the Department of Housing and Urban Development and then markets the property as a HUD home. Today's property is 6937 East Princeton Avenue, Fresno, California, 93727. Clovis Unified Schools, might I add. This 3,452 square foot, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-story home that was built in 2009 was appraised recently with an FHA appraisal at $325,000. The bidding deadline is daily on this particular property. It is eligible for FHA financing. It has also had the FHA appraisal completed, which will save you $450 if you're a buyer, or it will save your client $450 if you're an agent. That's $450 less that you've got to pay in terms of non-recurring closing costs.
Well, and the appraised value is $325, and you know darn well houses are going a bit higher than that out in that neighborhood.
Well, let's put it this way: if you're building it new,
yeah, you're paying more than that.
You're paying more than that.
Yeah, and that's a great product too.
Yeah.
Honestly, great new house.
Great builder. Again, if you'd like more information about today's hot property, give us a call anytime. 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. If you'd just like more information about the property, or if you'd like to actually see the property today, Michelle or myself could show you the property, or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ Hot Property.
And we will send you more information about this hot property right to your phone. Look for more hot properties each week right here on the Real Estate Radio Network. Well, top stories in the news, once again, as we focus on the Real Estate Radio Network. Active inventory. Top story in Fresno County.
Moving on up.
Yeah. To the east side, yes.
Yeah, exactly. 1306.
1306. First time in, I can't tell you how long. You know, we've been hovering between 1,000 and 1,100 active listings in Fresno County for the longest time. And guess what?
We're moving up.
Ben comes out and makes a few comments about, well, our bond buying activities are going to, at some point in the future, stop.
You start sounding like him.
Yeah, and, well, I have the beard.
That's it.
I do have the beard. And I do go to the same hairdresser, if you noticed. I have the big landing strip on top of my head.
Wow. Bzz, we just buzz your head. The Flowbee? Is that what they call that?
Oh, my gosh.
Anyways, okay, keep going.
I don't need a barber. I just do it myself.
Yeah, you don't. Trust me.
Ever since Ben came out with, thank you, that was sweet. Johnny, did you see it? Johnny and I have the same barber as well.
Actually, Johnny's does a little bit closer trim than yours.
He does. Yes, he does.
You look kind of like a lint brush.
Oh, wow.
You have a little on top.
Okay, I do. At least I have little on top.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, so 1,306 active listings.
He's like,
that's roughly 2.01. That's the first time, and I can't tell you how long.
2 months of inventory.
We have 2 months of active inventory in Fresno County.
Don't think that means it's going to take 2 months to go, because I kind of doubt it will.
Oh, yeah, with this
unless
pace.
There's some more coming on the market.
You know, they say that economists say that somewhere between 3 and 5 months is really where we want to see the market be at in terms of active inventory, which would put us somewhere in the ballpark of what? 1,900? You know, close to just under 2,000 active listings in Fresno County. And I remember some of the better days, and I don't mean better days in terms of sales or in terms of how prices are increasing, but some of the better days where there was so much less pressure on buyers, where sellers were pliable, where sellers were easier to work with. And we're not all that far removed from those days here in today's market. It just so happens that in today's market, the sellers are in control. It's simple economics.
It is. And they are demanding.
Just a tad bit. Just a tad bit.
They're demanding top dollar.
Well, Senators Warren, McCain, Cantwell, and King introduced 21st century's version of the Glass-Steagall Act. You know, just recently, Senators Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat from Massachusetts, John McCain, Republican from Arizona, Maria Cantwell, a Democrat from Washington, and Angus King, an independent from, where is he from, have introduced the 21st century version of the Glass-Steagall Act, a modern version of the Banking Act of 1933 that would essentially reduce the risk for the American taxpayer in the financial system and decrease the likelihood of future financial crises. Now, this legislation would separate traditional banks that have savings and checking accounts and that are insured by the FDIC from riskier financial institutions that offer services such as investment banking, insurance, swaps, credit swaps, yeah, remember that, and hedge funds and private equity activities.
Okay.
No, keep going. I want to hear what you have to say.
No, I'm just questioning. Okay, so before 1999,
Yes.
the rules were that investments, equities, hedge funds
Had to be separate.
All those investment type portfolio items had to be located, handled, transferred in a separate branch than your savings and loan.
Correct.
I mean, savings and checking
there had to be
account
distance.
deposits.
Correct. And
the deposits were FDIC insured, and the others generally were not because they cannot insure those riskier items.
Activities, yes.
And since 1999, which this was done back in the Depression to make it safe for people to put their money in the banks.
Yeah.
So the fact that they even touched the Stiegel Act is ridiculous to any of us. But nonetheless.
But why do you think they did that? Keep going.
Because it met their financial need.
Well, exactly. Because greed played a huge part.
And how sadly I have to admit this, I believe it was mainly Republicans who pulled the Stiegel Act, unfortunately.
Okay.
That saddens me.
Yes.
But nonetheless, it was all about the almighty dollar and who could make the most money. They say our larger institutions are like 30% larger than they were 5 years ago because of the growth
that they've experienced
of the equity and the riskier financial side of the house.
Yeah, Michelle.
In the middle of all this craziness, we're growing the riskier side of the house.
Exactly.
Now,
they're just wanting to ensure that there is separation between the two. In other words,
they don't have separation right now.
They don't. They're okay with the simple fact that you can diversify, but they're wanting to create a little greater distance to make sure that if something like what happens potentially happens again, that FDIC insured institutions are
well, and
protected.
Here's the question I have, and I don't know that we have the answer, and maybe someone can, Facebook us or call us in with the answer. But so if I go in, and I'm just going to use Wells Fargo as an example because they're a large institution here locally. I go into Wells Fargo, and they say FDIC insured on the door because I make deposits there, right?
Right.
But they also have their private banker over there who's doing my investments, which are not FDIC insured. Now the bank has a problem and my funds go bye-bye. Am I Miss Maple, who's 70 years old? Do I understand the difference?
Miss Maple.
Of which, hey, she was my first grade teacher and I loved her.
Okay.
Anyways, but nonetheless, somebody who is not clear on all the legalities of it, do they understand they've just lost their savings and checking?
Probably not
just investments, or they've lost their investments and they were not FDIC insured. And is it clear to the common consumer when they walk in the institution these days?
Thank you for saying that. Well, this bill, and let me cover a couple things here. This bill would help to clarify the regulatory interpretations of banking law provisions that undermined the protections under the original Glass-Steagall Act and would make too big to fail institutions smaller and safer, potentially minimizing the likelihood of government bailout. Now, since core provisions of the Glass-Steagall Act were repealed in 1999, shattering the wall that was dividing commercial banks and investment banks, a culture of dangerous greed and excessive risk-taking, leveraging, sometimes, what did we hear when we were talking about the inside jobs? Somewhere between 28, 30 plus times to one. In other words, leveraging 30 to 1. On the hopes that you were going to hit it big.
I'm thinking maybe they should just change the sign on the outside to say casino.
I love it.
Not FDIC insured unless you play these slots.
Yeah.
But FDIC not insured if you played these.
You have the FDIC insured
slot machines,
the slot machines in the bank,
and tables,
and then table. Okay,
yeah, you get and it's called casino.
I'm gonna guess
we could call it the Stiegel Casino,
the Glass-Steagall Casino.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm guessing, just call it a hunch, that on the side of the bank where you're going to have the Glass-Steagall non-FDIC insured,
they serve a lot of alcohol there,
and they
food.
have bright lights. It smells like smoke on that side.
St. Louis and isn't it St.
And
Louis?
on the FDIC insured side, it's going to be a little more conservative.
Subdued. A little more subdued.
Definitely more subdued.
Suits, ties.
Yes.
No cocktail waitresses with short skirts.
None whatsoever.
I got you.
That doesn't sound fun to me.
It sounds like what they're doing, though, if you ask me, and have been for a while. So I'm really curious to see how this all rolls out. Because like I said, when I did some research on the Glass-Steagall, it was mainly if I recall, the majority was Republicans who helped repeal that.
Yeah.
And sadly, we've got some...
Chairman of the Fed was really helpful at the same time.
Yeah. So I'm really interested to see how this happens.
Mr.
And what
Greenspan.
happens politically with this. And, yeah.
Yeah. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that we share with you on today's show, or you just have a question, give us a call, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go and listen to us on your smartphone.
Open 24 hours a day.
24 hours
just
a
like
day.
the casinos.
Yes, you can. Just like the casinos, the Glass-Steagall casinos. Download the iPeak Tuner on your smartphone, or just go online, go to KMJNow.com. You can also check out our resources online. Search for your new home at valleywidesells.com. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley Wide on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley Wide.
To get connected to us anytime, we'd love to hear from you. Well, what is a pocket listing? And are pocket listings a threat to the MLS and blunting the effects of rising interest rates on the horizon? And if you're an agent, you better speak up if you have an offer. Make sure you stay with us. You are listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
Mortgage interest rates are at historic lows, and there's never been a more affordable time to buy real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing property, let the mortgage professionals at Valley Wide help. Valley Wide Homes has been helping homeowners with their mortgage needs since 1997. When it comes to the Valley's real estate, we know our way around the neighborhood. Call toll-free, 800-979-3958, and put the seasoned professionals at Valley Wide Homes to work for you. Valley Wide Homes, NMLS number 342062, 235-952, California Department of Real Estate License 0122-8460. Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country? The whole country. From Pete's Seats right here in Fresno. If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events. Local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097. And take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
You know, I'd have to say that I'm so rested. I have way too much energy this morning. And coffee, it's not even just the coffee. It's,
your lint brush is looking a little relaxed.
My lint brush. Oh, my God.
I mean, your hair.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, my head looks like a lint brush.
Did your wife not do your hair for you while you were gone?
There was a few days I didn't shave it, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Tiffy, we got to talk.
Tiffy, and she's a hairdresser, too.
I know. That's why I'm like, Tiffy, really? You let him go out the house like this?
Think it might be bad for business?
It might be.
It might be. You know, are pocket listings a threat to the multiple listing service? Michelle, first of all, let's discuss what exactly is a pocket listing. Define it for me.
A pocket listing is a listing that is taken by an agent/broker that is not put on the open market, generally doesn't have signs out, generally doesn't go on the MLS for the additional agents in the community to purchase or bring clients to.
Sure.
And there are a lot of different reasons people do pocket listings. I know a developer who has land that he owns, and we consider most of his land ownership as pocket listings because for the right price, he'll sell that land.
Gotcha.
It's not a written contract per se,
Gotcha.
but we consider it to be a pocket listing because it's available. If the right person came in and made an offer, he would sell it.
Gotcha.
It's just land that he hasn't disposed of yet.
Sure.
I also know of pocket listings, and I had one not too long ago. Slap me on the hand if you need to, anybody. But at the same time, it was a deficient property. That
rough around the edges.
Really rough around the edges, would not obtain financing for the property.
Sure.
Was a low dollar point, generally speaking, for the open market.
Yeah.
And honestly, the only person who could purchase would be a cash buyer, and generally investors want those properties.
Sure.
So in that situation, it was in the seller's best interest not to fetter around with a bunch of agents showing clients who can't buy the property.
Right.
Because they have to get financing. It was more lucrative and made more sense time-wise for that property to go to an investor. So phone calls were made to investors that we are aware of. And that's how we move the property. But nonetheless, it just depends on the situation. But generally, it's not on the open market. It is not a property that's out there listed on the MLS. And honestly, every developer has pocket listings. You would consider them pocket listings. They're not on the MLS, but they've got homes available to buy.
And the right people know at the right price those
Correct.
properties are for sale. Well, the number of homes for sale that never actually make it into the multiple listing service is growing. Now, during a discussion at the California Association of Realtors mid-year legislative meetings and expo, supporters of pocket listings noted that sellers... I kind of find this funny.
Okay, tell me.
Sellers seeking privacy are more inclined to avoid the multiple listing service. I get that. Now, there is a rise in such sales that correlates with overall market improvements, but some worry about the threat of the current multiple listing model. Now, one agent stated specifically, the underlying motivation is nothing more than greed. The same agents are holding pocket listings are often the same agents that attempt to shortcut everything.
Are you talking? I'm not like that.
I'm not looking at you when I'm saying
shortcut
this.
time, possibly. But I think what they're referring to is agents who say, I have a pocket listing, and they want to represent buyer and seller.
But do you also think that when I hear pocket listing, my fear is there's the majority of the agents that we work with, we're very blessed to work with, and are great and do a great job. But there's a couple agents out there that I could say that I've dealt with in the past few years.
Don't want to do it again?
That I don't want to do it again, and that when it comes right down to it, as far as if they have a pocket listing, I don't feel that, let's put it this way, they had an active listing on multiple listing service, and I don't feel that, like we're going to talk about in a little bit, that our offer was presented to the seller. I didn't get that feeling. And the reason being is how that agent actually dealt with me. I want every agent that calls me. I know that if you're calling in from Fresno Multiple Listing Service, there is a special number that rings on my phone that it says MLS Direct Line. So I want to make sure that I'm taking great care of that agent that's calling in because, number one, how many times do I get the comment, wow, you actually answer your phone? And that's from agents on Multiple Listing Service. This agent that I dealt with, he wasn't the funnest to deal with. And I just felt like, I think I have if my gut is telling me that they weren't being upfront and honest with regards to the submission of my offer to the seller or the comments that were made from the asset manager or whatever the situation was, I'm telling you, my gut is usually right the majority of the time.
And I think we've all had negative experiences with agents out there in the marketplace who don't want to present offers. I think that's there's good and bad in every industry. We see it in banking, we see it in radio, we see it in TV, we see it in agents, we see it in title companies. There's good and bad in every industry, regardless of what side you sit on. And I think it's not unusual for us to have a run-in with an agent who really doesn't want to tolerate us because we're not bringing what they want to the table. So maybe you didn't have an investor paying cash, so they didn't want to deal with you. I mean, we've both seen situations where
I can see where
we didn't bring the right demographic to the table.
This won't qualify for
Yeah, they didn't go to
financing.
our lender or big bank lender. They didn't do this. They didn't do that. They want to discredit it before they even read the stinking offer. And there are a lot of folks out there like that. So you find good and bad in everything. And I don't think all pocket listings are bad. I think there are some good reasons to have pocket listings in those situations because it's a waste of those agents' time.
Sure.
If they're looking at financing or anyways, I mean, I do think in some cases it's a quick, easy sell, and it goes into records for the county, so it's not like it's not used as a qualified comp.
Oh, right. Well, it's not like it can't be used.
Yeah,
because
it can be.
Right,
it can be used. Yeah. Even if it's not on the open market. And pocket listings, to me, are very similar to private sales. A lot of times we see private sales where one family will sell to another family member. Or so I think there's good and bad in that as well as anything else.
Sure. There you go. Well, blunting the effects of rising interest rates.
Blunting. Here we go. Calming the effects.
No, exactly. Combating the effects of rising interest rates.
All right, I'll go with that.
So what's the first thing that you do when interest rates rise? Start looking for a cheaper home? We talked.
Somebody asked me in an email this week, are rates going to go up? I said, hard to say. That's all I answered. I'm like, I don't know. Do you have a crystal ball? Because I don't.
Well, if you did,
I'd be winning the bet we had, but nonetheless. You'd be back over at
the coast with me. Yeah, we'll get to that shortly here. Well, I'd be back over at the coast, spending a lot of time there if I had a crystal ball.
Yeah, me too.
I would. So how do you go through the process? So again, answer my question. So what's the first thing you do? Do you go from a 30-year fixed and say, well, instead of a 30-year fixed, I'm going to choose a 5/1 ARM because a 5/1 ARM is typically the most competitive priced adjustable rate mortgage as opposed to a 30-year fixed because I want to keep my purchasing price, and it's typically lower than a 30-year fixed, and just enough lower, might even help to make up the $18,000 that you just lost in the market because I was pre-approved at 175, but when interest rates jumped that 1 1/8% roughly when Bernanke spoke 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago, almost 4 weeks ago. No, 4 weeks ago, excuse me.
It's been 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks ago.
Anyways.
3.5 and 30, or what was it, 1%?
3.5 and 30. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't get it.
So what is it that you do? Do you start looking for a lower interest rate? Do you readjust your expectation as far as
this is where the creative mortgage products start coming out, and we got to be careful.
Yeah.
Because you go from a 30-year fixed mortgage, and now you start teetering around with 5/1 ARMs, and okay, this is how we got in this mess?
Yeah.
Because what you're doing is you are adjusting your mortgage in order to please yourself on purchase price versus working with the market and staying within that 30-year fix, which is never going to change. Here's the problem we saw. When people got creative and values fell, they were not able to refinance.
No.
So if you're going to consider an adjustable rate, you better see what it maxes out at and make sure you can afford that payment.
Well, certainly. One of the other variables that some say are going to change or help to combat that increase in interest rates is that as we get farther away from the housing downturn, that we're going to see underwriting standards loosen, and we're going,
scary.
Just that somewhat piggybacks. It's not all the way full swing to
what we saw before.
No, as far as the creative mortgage products that you had mentioned, or interest only, or a 40-year loan.
Right. So I'm just saying, as a precaution, they should be looking at that top out rate. And looking at it and seeing if that's affordable as well.
Right. Estimates say that there's 17.8 million renter households nationally that possess sufficient income
to purchase
of at least $36,000 a year to buy a $177,000 home at a rate of roughly 3.5%, which would be a standard, pretty typical FHA rate prior to 30 days ago, compared to 14.9 million. At a 5% mortgage rate.
What's the difference? How many million?
17.8 to 14.9.
So we lost
just
3 million people lost buying power.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, that there's some economists that also forecast that rates are going to be close to 5, if not 5, by sometime mid next year. And then in 2014. And that somewhere in 2015 that they're going to be significantly higher than that.
Wow.
You have to say
that's concerning.
Yeah, it is extremely concerning.
It's concerning because we get a surge of buyers right now, and if you start using more excessive mortgage types, or aggressive would be the word, more aggressive mortgage types, a couple years from now, are you in a situation where prices have leveled off now?
Yep.
Don't know.
So agents, speak up when an offer arrives.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, how much time does a listing agent have to present an offer to the seller on a property once a buyer makes an offer? And can the listing agent hold the offer knowing that another offer might be coming?
Okay, legally, or what happens? Which one do you want?
Legally or what happens?
Well, because legally...
Real world or...
honest or dishonest? Which one do you want?
So let me tell you...
tell me more.
The answer is Standard of Practice I-6 speaks specifically to the timing of the presentation of an offer. So California Association of Realtors a realtor shall submit offers and counteroffers objectively and as quickly, this is clear as mud, and as quickly as possible. While there can be different perspectives on what is as quickly as possible means, it's clear from the Code of Ethics that a listing agent doesn't have the right to decide unilaterally when an offer is presented. Now, the listing agent must always keep the key concepts of Article 1 in mind when representing a buyer, seller, landlord, or tenant, or other client as an agent. Realtors pledge themselves to protect and promote the interests of their client. Now, this obligation to the client is primary, but it does not relieve realtors of their obligation to treat all parties, including a buyer, honestly. Now, the presentation of offers is one of the ways in which a listing agent protects and promotes the interests of the seller, so that the seller should take instructions, or the agent, should take instructions from the seller on how the offer is presented. So, as an example, we're gonna list a property this coming Friday.
Okay.
And you and I both know well that Friday is one of the best days. Early Friday morning is one of the best days to list a property.
Right.
So we're able to get some traction.
Right.
If we're advertising the property or advertising an open house that's going to be conducted Saturday or Sunday or both, and that if it's priced competitively, not where the seller is too greedy, but if it's if it's priced competitively in today's market, at market or slightly above, we should have some offers come Monday morning.
Correct.
We really should. So if the seller says, here's what I want to do, or maybe the strategy is undertaken, we're going to get through the weekend and we're going to tell every agent that calls or every client or agent that we see at the open house that we're going to review all offers Tuesday morning. So it's not a requirement because it's specified by the seller. The seller says, I want to review all the offers at one time. I don't want them, piecemeal, onesie-twosie.
Okay.
That's a little cumbersome. I want to view all the offers. If that's the instruction of the seller, then guess what?
That's the deal.
That's the deal.
They're the boss.
They are the boss. And that's what goes down in that transaction. If the seller says, you know what, you get an offer, shoot it to me. Let's start talking about it.
Right. Let's look at them as they come in.
Some sellers are going to say, let's get her done and get her done fast. So it's
it depends on the seller. Okay.
It does. It really does.
Be aware, for California real estate law, our contracts say 72 hours.
Correct.
That's the time frame that seller, legally, we can back out if they don't respond within 72 hours.
And let's clarify that. The contract, it's standard verbiage in the contract, unless modified, that if you submit an offer to a seller, that you're saying you have 72 hours to respond to me from this offer. Otherwise, if it's outside of that time frame, I have no obligation.
Right.
You cannot bind me because I have no obligation because you've exceeded the time allowed per the contract. Now, if your agent, if you're a buyer and your agent is representing you and doing a good job, they're going to communicate with the seller, with the listing agent, and find out, hey, we're not reviewing offers until Tuesday. So you may state that offer expires by Tuesday at 5 p.m. So you're giving that umbrella and them time enough because you're serious about this property.
Right.
It's extremely important that you communicate that. It's extremely important that that your agent is reaching out to the listing agent and that everybody's in the know as to exactly how this is going to go down.
Right. I agree.
So now you tell me what happens. I told you what section practice 1.6.
Yeah, because I follow that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do.
No,
if I'm
do.
working with a client, I do. What I see happening right now, because we are in the trenches with banks and investment companies that are handling these things, it may be 6, 7, 8, 10 days in some cases before we hear a response. Now, at that point, my client's probably has gone on and made other offers, and probably is going to be up to them whether or not that offer sticks.
Sure.
And as much as I think in a perfect world it's great when the agents communicate with each other, in a lot of cases, in these situations, agents don't communicate with the buying agents.
Mm-hmm.
So the buying agents are left. We're left to kind of figure it out. If it's not pending, we're going to submit our offer and then get on our knees and pray tonight.
Yeah,
that
really.
we're still in the ball. That we're
I
still
said
in the
that
game.
to a client recently.
Yeah.
Just pray.
Just pray.
Seller has it now. Just pray.
Mm-hmm. We did a counteroffer last weekend with a previous client of yours and mine and their family, and we got countered, and it was a multiple counteroffer situation. And of course, my client was so excited. We agreed to the terms, and we sent it back, and they didn't get the property.
Oh.
And they're like, Michelle, what could we have done differently? Nothing. We agreed to what they asked for. Well, there is not a darn thing we could do.
That's exactly it.
It was all up to a traditional sale.
Yep.
The buyer or the seller got to make that call, and unfortunately, we were not the winner.
We were not called to the podium to accept.
It was really discouraging, though. It was.
Wow. Well, be on the lookout for a tax bill. That's something that nobody wants to hear. There's a real public relations opportunity. And it's not a good one if you're
public relations.
Yeah,
we're charging you money.
No, it's not a good thing if you're the county assessor's office. It's kind of bad for it's kind of bad PR.
Bad for your image.
Yeah,
you're the assessor.
Yeah,
you're the tax guy. Who cares?
Oh my gosh, no, I think it's bad for your image. Well, or maybe it's good for our image here at the Real Estate Radio Network because we're actually telling you that
ahead of time.
Ahead of time.
Beware.
We're telling you ahead of time that there's a tax bill coming.
There is a tax bill coming,
and. There is a potential. If your property is, and citing a practice called value restoration or recapture, there are county assessors' offices throughout the state of California that are sending out notices just recently or are in the process of sending out notices. Now, a precedent-setting court case allows county assessors to recapture tax cuts as real estate values recover.
Amen. And if you don't like it, don't buy a house. Because, generally speaking, we all want city services to continue if it's possible.
No, we do.
And part of that, if you drive our valley right now, you can drive in some of the most premier neighborhoods on the north end of town that have weeds 6 feet high growing on the easements.
That's because the EEOC bus hasn't been out there lately.
Yeah, my point being, though, those services that we pay taxes for to be done are not being done because the tax base has fallen. So if you want those pristine properties around you to be maintained, that's one of the ways it's done, guys.
Or help meet our unfunded pension liabilities.
Well, I mean, it is what if we want them to do the right thing, they've got to do the right thing at the good times and the bad times.
Sure.
And the problem is we only see them doing it at one set of those.
Correct. Well, county assessors' offices say it can raise taxes by more than the Proposition 13's 2% limit when home prices rebound from properties that had prior assessment reductions. So in the past, if let's say you requested and they dropped, okay, it can go back up.
Yeah.
And in excess of 2% per year. Many homeowners who got tax cuts during the recession will see their taxable values rise as much as 17% this year. The California Supreme Court, just to give you a little perspective, affirmed the assessor's right to do this after a Seal Beach lawyer, Robert Poole, lost his court fight to block the Los Angeles County's assessor's office and all California assessors.
And where do the Supreme Court judges get paid out of?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Different bucket. Different bucket.
Different bucket. Totally different bucket, I'm sure. From recapturing lost assessment values after the 1990s housing market crashed. Now, last week, or I think it was about a week and a half ago, there was 31,803 Orange County homeowners that faced the same shock via a blue notice that they were going to receive in the mail.
The little
State
blue
Assessor's
notice.
Office must notify homeowners by mail no later than July 20th. Property owner this is the point that I think is extremely important. Property owners have until September 16th to file an appeal with the clerk
about their value. Interesting.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting.
So if you do,
and again, history being made here again. We had Proposition 13, which limited you to 2% years ago. That was put into effect, and we all think that's just wonderful. And then we had to readjust when the market fell, and now we're adjusting back up. And this is history in the making right now.
That's a roller coaster ride.
It's a roller coaster ride. But it's a good thing if you really think about city services and what the governmental entities need to function.
We don't want to end up like Detroit. That's all I'm saying.
Who?
Detroit.
Oh, Detroit. Yeah, I almost forgot they existed because they've done nothing for so long. Sorry.
Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or you just really want to comment on this roller coaster ride you're on this morning, call us anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. Take us with you wherever you go. Not that you want to, but you can. I'm just saying. Listen to us on your smartphone. Download the iPeak Tuner app at the App Store, or you can listen to us online at kmjnow.com. You can also check out our resources online. Go to valleywidesells.com. Search for your new home. To friend us on Facebook, use press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley Wide on Facebook.
Or use press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley Wide.
To call into the show anytime. We'd love to hear from you. Well, Art from Selma asks, my wife and I finally found a property that we really like. You have no idea how long it took Art and his wife to find this property. But we also think there's some items that are of concern. As an example, a missing air conditioner, missing appliances. All right, Michelle.
It's going to be a little hot this summer.
Yeah, a little warmish. Now what should we do? Well, when we return, we're going to take some listener questions. Make sure you stay with us. You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Network, helping you to redefine real estate here on 105.9, the FM KMJ.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.
All it takes is one call to the professionals at Valleywide Homes, and you'll start building wealth in real estate. Whether you're looking for your first home, moving up, or your next income-producing investment property, let the experts at Valleywide Homes help. There's never been a better time to get into the real estate market. Visit our website at reofresnohomes.com or call toll-free 800-979-3958. That's 800-979-3958. And put the seasoned professionals of Valleywide Homes to work for you.
Have you ever thought about going solar? It's never been easier to go solar than with a SunPower lease. You'll start saving money the very first day. Arise Solar has a team of energy consultants ready to help you determine if going solar is right for you. Start taking control of your energy costs. Contact Arise Solar, your local SunPower Elite dealer at 449-8989. That's Arise Solar at 449-8989. Or use press 4 keywords, Arise Solar.
Did you know that all the tickets you can buy on different websites come from the same place? Did you know that you can buy every ticket you need to any event in the country, the whole country, from Pete's Seats right here in Fresno? If that's the case, you need to call Pete's Seats. Any ticket, anytime. Sports, concerts, theater. Hey, there's seats, and then there's Pete's Seats. Premium tickets for all events, local, national, worldwide. Don't settle for a regular seat when you can get a really good Pete's Seat. Online at peteseats.net or simply 294-SEAT. That's 294-7328.
How much should I be saving? When can I retire? What can I do to ensure that my estate will be left in the hands of my family once I'm gone? Is my hard-earned money safe in today's markets?
With all the uncertainty in today's world, all of us at the Island Group know it is our job to provide answers to these questions. Walk with us, the Island Group at UBS Financial Services. Call me, Kate Island, at 559-248-4097. That's 559-248-4097. And take the first step in protecting your financial future.
All rights reserved. UBS Financial Services, Inc. is a subsidiary of UBS AG. Member SIPC.
You're listening to Real Estate Radio Network with local expert Craig Barton. Now, here's Craig.
Well, Michelle, Art from Selma called in and asked, my wife and I finally found a property that we really, really like. And you have no idea how long it has taken Art and his wife to find a property, but we also found some items of concern as far as the property is concerned. The air conditioner was making some noises. Mm-hmm. There were some missing appliances. Mm-hmm. What do we do? How do we proceed in the transaction while at the same time protecting ourselves and not creating additional exposure where we get into something that really is problematic for us?
Well, the initial portion of your contract, whether it's with an institution or whether it's with a traditional seller or a short sale, you have an inspection period.
An inspection period is what?
An inspection period is the time that the buyer has to inspect all aspects of the property to make a determination whether they want to continue on and purchase the property or not.
And typically, how long is that inspection time frame?
For California law, it's 17 days. So if you're working with a car form and it's a traditional sale, it's 17 days. Now, some of the banks have different inspection time frames that they've put in place for short sales or for foreclosures, really, just based on their rules.
And really, to specify or to clarify for our listeners, that the inspection period of time can be modified per the contract.
Addendum.
It is all negotiable.
Yeah, it's all negotiable. And so they generally, if it's an institution, will have an addendum that tells you how long that inspection period is that you have to agree to.
Like Fannie Mae's addendum. We'll say you have 10 days.
Right, whatever it is.
Gotcha.
So that 17 days is crucial for you to get your inspections done. And in that situation, a home inspection is imperative because it's going to tell you, if you're concerned about the air conditioning, somebody's going to go out there and look at the air conditioning and say, hey, yes, we need an air conditioning professional to come out. Or, no, you're fine. This is just this particular type of unit and how it runs and how it operates. Excuse me. If you're missing appliances, during that time frame, you get to figure out how much is it going to cost me to replace these appliances.
Sure.
Is this a deal breaker? And honestly, your agent could go back and ask for repairs of anyone. It's always negotiable. You can always ask. And honestly, for my clients, unless it's a deal breaker, we may not ask because I want to know, are you willing to replace or repair this item and purchase this house? Because to me, again, I go back to the car example. Does it need new tires?
Right.
Does the car need a new engine? Which one is it? If it's just wiper blades, do we want to just eat it and keep going?
Sure.
We pay for it and keep on moving down the road. Because if there is something that's a deal breaker for you, then it's a deal breaker. And we're going to go back and we're going to ask seller to do it. Now, if seller says no, it's a deal breaker. You said we're done.
Best
Bye-bye.
case scenario, the seller would take care of it.
Exactly.
Next best case,
but in this market, you're not seeing sellers taking care of much. They don't have to.
It is a seller's market.
It's a seller's market, and so they sit there and say, yeah, no, I'm not really interested in fixing anything.
So seller says no, then you come back and say, well, would you be interested in splitting it 50-50? And if they say no again, then we say, is it a deal breaker?
I want to know with my clients whether it's a deal breaker before we even ask, though, because I want to know where they're at mentally, financially. I don't want to fetter around with a seller or my buyer. If we need to drop and go on to another house, we need to do that quickly.
Sure.
So I do try to address that.
So to recap, don't feel like, or hopefully you don't feel like, that you're creating exposure for yourself or potential liability down the road. That if you've got 17 days to create that informed consent on your part by doing your inspections, whether it is a home inspection, a termite inspection, a roof inspection, a well inspection, a water potability inspection, a septic inspection, a lead-based paint inspection, an inspection of the popcorn ceiling to determine if there is any asbestos in the popcorn ceiling. Whatever inspection it is, you have 17 days to complete that inspection.
And then decide.
By
the 17th day, whether it's a deal breaker or not.
Love it. Very good clarity. I appreciate it. Susie from Selma says, I want to buy a house, and I'm doing my own research through free online resources.
Oh, great. Susie, call me quickly, please. Stop the madness.
Maybe not a good use of my time, but how reliable... I like shopping from my computer. How reliable are these resources?
Again, Susie, call me. Let's get you hooked up with the Fresno MLS. Accurate, up-to-date, daily. All day long, it's going to tell you what's new on the market, what just went pending, what went sold. And the reason I say that is all of those sites, as great as they are for informational purposes, accuracy is not their strong point.
Yep.
For today.
And
they were accurate the day they were uploaded.
Yes.
But since then, things have
changed. It's a snapshot in time.
Exactly.
And it doesn't necessarily update when that property goes pending or backup or sold.
And many of the backups are showed as active, and that's truly not the case with so many backups here in our market.
And part of it is that they are selling that information to agents like us. That when they capture a buyer that's interested about wanting to hear more about a specific property.
Yep. Zillow's selling you.
They are.
Yeah, no, they are. That's what they do. That's how they all make money.
So, Michelle, Debbie from Clovis asks, I'm in a short sale since March. How long is too long?
Debbie, I wish I knew. Call me. Your agents should be talking with you and giving you updates from selling agent. If you're the buyer, then they should be giving you updates as often as they can. Unfortunately, be aware, most of it is out of their control,
Right.
and they are just feeding information to you as they receive it. And
They're the
honestly,
messenger.
unfortunately, we get to be the messengers, good and bad news in those situations. And just hold tight. You'll get a definite answer at some point.
You'll know if it feels like it's too long.
Yeah, you do. You do.
You really do.
And honestly, March is a long time.
Yeah.
But how many liens are there? How many people are involved? How many people are decision makers? There's more than one person involved in most cases.
And where does it tend to get the quirkiest? It tends to get the quirkiest when there's multiple lien holders involved on a short sale.
And not always good answers. I mean,
No.
there's not always, sometimes we're into new territory.
Yep.
So, yeah, be patient.
As laws change, as servicers change, as all the different regulations change, that the servicers are required to follow now with regards to giving their clients due process as far as no dual track.
Right.
You have to give them the opportunity to modify that loan and make sure that you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's. I spoke with a client this week that said, I called about a second lien, and originally they told him that he wanted to maintain the relationship with the credit union that has the second lien. And he says, he called him up and said, hey, just out of curiosity, and if I short sell the property, I can't do that, but I want to maintain the relationship. So he called him up and said, I want to maintain the relationship. So what do I need to do? Will you guys release the lien on the property and just let me pay this as an unsecured note? And
You can't do that, can they?
well, originally they told him yes, but you can't do it once you're in a short sale.
Yeah,
Okay,
you can't do it.
And so he's like, cool, that's what I want to do. And I told him, so here's what we need to do now. Call back. He called back twice yesterday, got a different answer from the first answer 2 different times. So now he's got 3 different answers. I told him, buddy, you need to climb the food chain and find somebody that will put it
That has a real answer.
That has a real answer, that will put it in writing, because if you proceed as you're headed down the road and
Right.
you do something that impairs you in the future, your
gonna
attorney
regret it.
your attorney needs to have that information.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be valid and something you need to actually take to court.
And as soon as you ask for things in writing, people generally don't want to commit.
Yeah, exactly. Again, if you have any real estate or mortgage-related questions or questions regarding the information that Michelle and myself share with you on our show, give us a call anytime, 800-979-3958. Again, that's 800-979-3958. You can go to our website, check out our resources online. Go to valleywidesells.com. To friend us on Facebook, use Press 4 keywords.
Friend Valley Wide on Facebook.
Or use Press 4 keywords.
KMJ, call Valley
To
Wide.
call into the show anytime. Well, a big thank you to Michelle Lynn Pettis, my special guest host here in the studio. When we're done, I think I want to go back to the coast.
Yeah, no, sorry. We've got business to take care of.
Also, a big thank you to Johnny B behind the mics. Thanks so much, Johnny. Our goal at the Real Estate Radio Network is to get you, our listeners, the timely and accurate truth about your local real estate market, so we can help bring you
Back home.
Don't forget to tune into the Real Estate Radio Network next Sunday morning at 7 a.m. right here on 105.9, the FM KMJ. Local news, local talk. Make it a great day, Central Valley, and we will see you next week.
This program is brought to you by the Real Estate Radio Network. Visit realestateradio.us for more info. That's realestateradio.us.